Welcome to another YouTube edition of 𝐷𝐷𝐿 Talks, and today I have been looking forward to the title of the show because it's pretty tricky. What if your child was not able to see a rainbow? Explain, please.
We have so many miracles through life. Some people can see a rainbow, some people are able to see a shooting star, and we take for granted that we are able to see these miracles of life. But I have a son who was born blind, and he will never be able to see a shooting star or a rainbow because it's too far away.
Wow. Could you tell us a bit more about your son?
Yeah, I gave birth to Philip in 2008, and he was born blind. I kind of sensed that there was something wrong during the pregnancy, but the doctors told me that I was probably a hysterical mom because it was my first child and he's my only child. But I just knew that something was off. And when I gave birth to him, I found out that he was born totally blind, no reflection, no reaction, no nothing in his eyes. And they told me it was his optical nerves that are malfunctioning. And we can't work with nerves, we can't fix nerves as it is today in the hospital's system. And I wouldn't accept that, so I just trained and trained and trained the nerves. And after 3 months, I stuck the tongue out of my mouth, as many parents do to children, and then he did it. He did the same. And I just knew, okay, he couldn't sense that. He would never be able to imagine what I did. So I knew he can see something. So I trained and I trained and I trained again with contrasting colors and trying to find out or figuring out if he was colorblind as well. So I tried to test a red thing, black thing, or blue thing, and then I swapped, the things, and I figured out that he wasn't colorblind. I saw his potential.
How is it being a mom and then you realize that your child is disabled? Because I guess as any parent, you had dreams and hopes. Do they get shattered, or do you just pick up the challenge?
Both. The sorrow and grief I felt when I heard that my son was totally blind was indescribable. The only thing a parent or a mom is worried about during the 9 months of pregnancy is there something wrong with my child? And parents are so worried. I was so worried if he was sound and healthy. We have 2 scans in Scandinavia during a pregnancy, week number 12 and week number 20. And all moms are worried about those scans. And mine were perfect. And when I gave birth to him, and I later on was told that his disabilities are more than one thing, my world fell apart. And I started to fight for him because I want to give him the best life as possible, being Philip, with the things he's able to do.
Is it difficult to accept that your child has a disability?
At first it was difficult because I wanted normality, but what is normality? I don't think I'm normal either. I think if I had to be in a school system as it is of today, I would very much have appreciated an autism diagnosis or something, because I would not function in a class of 28 pupils with the stress or the expectations we have for children today. Yeah.
So I guess you realize you have a disabled child, but that doesn't stop you from having dreams for your child, right?
No, not at all, because seeing that unimaginably development with Philip, going from blind to be able to see things, he can watch a tablet, TV, he reads with large letters in school, make me see his potential. And to me, I know nothing else but being around Philip. Sure, I have a sister who has a normal functioning child, but I would never give Philip up for anything because he's always happy. I don't debate, I don't discuss with him. I don't have to worry about him going into a party to the city and get mugged or robbed or, being in a fight. I don't have to worry about that. So I try to see the positive things about having Philip in my life.
So always look on the bright side.
Yeah, and what he teaches me, because all children are a gift to all parents, and the disabled children are truly a gift if you choose to see it that way. He makes me live in the now constantly because he can only be there. He makes me feel more calm because his system or nervous system can't handle too much stress. So he forces me, without even knowing about it, me to become a better person and more true to myself.
So even if he's disabled, you get the same victories. They might be different from what other parents have. You won't see him score the first goal on a soccer field, but you have other things.
I did see him score on the soccer field, but it's in a minor scale. So you have a large football team usually, but in Philip's school there are 3 kids playing football and 2 adults. So it's still a success, and he still gets, to become or try out to become more athletical. He swims, he runs, but still it's in a minor scale. And we have also children that haven't a physical force being able to do those things. And then we have to look at, maybe they are in a wheelchair, and then we have to look at small successes which we can see every day, and we don't take it for granted.
No.
I don't take it for granted, and I very much try to put focus out there to all the success stories there are in the world with all these children, even though to the parents it feels like a fight, but to the children it doesn't, because they don't feel, I can't generalize this, but according to Philip, he's not fighting, he only knows the world he knows.
So Philip doesn't understand that he is different?
I think at some point he does. At some points when he looks at other children, I think he can miss friendships like that. I think he can miss, I would very much do that, but I don't know how to do it, or I'm afraid of doing it. So I need to help him and push him through life constantly. But again, in a smaller scale than other children. And I don't know about other children if they should be pushed in a smaller scale, because it's so individual from child to child and parent to parent. I can only tell what I do.
He has progressed so much. Will he ever be able to live a quote-unquote normal life?
No, I don't think so. If normal is moving out in an own apartment, having a girlfriend, getting a job, going to university, but he can have a life that is filled with love. He can be educated and graduate again in his scale. He will be able to move one day, move out away from me, but he'll need help because he can't see an angle of 90 degrees down, so he would be able to fall on stairs or in the bathroom, so he still needs my help or an adult's help, a helper. He's very, very intellectual and very, very good at math, so I pray and hope that there are a company out there who will hire autistic people and give them this little job, and then he would be able to have a job, but not as it is today in a normal company with 500 people walking around. No, he wouldn't.
What are your wishes for the adult Philip? You talked a little bit about it, but parents have wishes. Somebody wants a new Tiger Woods, and somebody wants a professor. What are your wishes for Philip?
To have a happy life where he will always feel loved, which will require the people and the helpers around him needs to be highly professional, and the quality of their work and their effort need to be heartfelt and not about saving money or, doing a quick fix, because it's human beings out there. It's not, I would very much like to say cows, but you shouldn't do that on cows either. But you know what I mean about having a happy life, whatever that will be for him. That's my biggest wish for him.
I'm thinking about that being disabled has its backsides, but it also eliminates a lot of the problems you and I are going through, being heartbroken, paying the mortgage, all these things that we need to do that Philip doesn't have.
Right.
But what is your best advice for parents to a disabled child?
My best advice to all parents out there is to make a system and a world that's going to fit in for the child and not the other way around. Because all these children are never going to fit in a system as it is of today. They're never going to fit in a society with stress and chasing money and working 40 hours, 80 hours a week. So a lot of these parents split up or work part-time jobs because they know it's too difficult. And in some situations they need help and have to replace the child because they don't have resources, time, or they have another normal functioning child that's going to suffer because the disabled child requires so much time and so much help. So I'll pray and hope that all parents will focus on the individual child, give them all the love, seeing them as they are, not trying to change them or trying to squeeze them into normality, but accept that the child is the way the child is.
With those words, I will tell your subscribers to remember, subscribe, like, and share your videos.
Yes.
And we will be talking a lot more in this series about your son. But today, thank you.
Thank you.